According to Cornell University's Wildlife Health Laboratory, between 10 and 20 million animals die from lead toxicosis each year. On top of this, wildlife rehabilitators work tirelessly year-round to save countless lives from lead poisoning. Humans can suffer from lead poisoning just like wildlife. While deaths from lead toxicity in humans are rare in modern times, the CDC still considers it to be, a problem. Lead exposure can lead to birth defects as well as neurological symptoms, organ failure, lower intelligence, attention deficits, hypertension. It can even lead to death. Today, I'll be discussing not only how lead accumulates within our environment, but also how it negatively impacts the health of both wildlife and people. I'm currently pursuing a degree in wildlife biology. I've learned a great deal from the Blue Ridge Wildlife Center in Virginia, observing cases where animals were brought in with high blood lead levels. Recent biology courses have also provided me with an excellent understanding of how toxins accumulate as you move up the food chain. During this presentation, I'll be focusing on questions like what is lead and how does lead poisoning happen? How does lead toxicosis impact wildlife? And why does this matter as far as humans are concerned? To begin, we must understand how lead behaves from an environmental standpoint. Since lead is a toxin, it behaves like all other toxins. Many toxins can be consumed either directly or indirectly, including lead. Toxins leach into nearby soil and water sources as they break down within the environment. Lead ammunition, fishing lures, sinkers, lead-based paints, and other lead-based pollutants, they don't just magically dissolve into thin air. They slowly break down and contaminate our soil and nearby streams. Lead that has leached into soil sources and streams is then absorbed by plants that are then consumed. Lead can also be consumed directly when animals like birds mistake, little lead, those little round lead seed or lead pellets that look a lot like bird seed to a bird. Other ways that lead is directly consumed would be when a scavenger, consumes a carcass that's been riddled with lead bullets. Toxins bioaccumulate. So this means that as you move up the food chain or through the food web, you get an exponential increase of toxins. Now that we kind of established a basic understanding of toxins and how they bioaccumulate, I'll discuss how lead negatively affects wildlife as they begin to accumulate in the body. The planet's wildlife is heavily impacted by lead. As I mentioned briefly earlier, millions of animals die each year due to lead toxicity, lead poisoning. I probably won't surprise you if I tell you that predators and scavengers are the most at risk when discussing lead poisoning. This is because of how things bioaccumulate. Water birds are also greatly impacted, according to the Iowa State University, and this is because of things like lost or littered fishing tackle, sinkers and little fishing lures. They have lead in them often. Lead toxicosis symptoms in wildlife vary, and they can include weakness, loss of coordination, weight loss, and lethargy. Lead poisoning can lead to organ failure and often leads to death if untreated. Now that we've discussed how lead impacts wildlife, you may understand why this subsequently impacts us as humans. Or you may be wondering, why does this matter to me? Well, humans can also fall victim to lead poisoning. Humans are omnivores for the most part, and typically we're found at the top of the food chain. Just like with wildlife, toxins, they can accumulate in our body. Consumption of too many food sources that are high in toxins, specifically lead, can lead to lead poisoning. According to Johns Hopkins, toddlers and children, especially children in low-income families, as well as certain ethnicities and people working in certain occupations are at higher risks of lead toxicosis. Johns Hopkins also predicts that lead levels of nearly 500,000 children under the age of 5 are higher than they should be. Symptoms of excess lead in humans are similar to those in wildlife. They include things like birth defects, developmental delays, weight and appetite loss, personality changes, weakness, memory problems, delayed puberty, organ failure, and in rare cases, even death. Toxins, including heavy metals like lead, accumulate within the environment and the bodies of organisms over time. The resulting illness, while treatable, can become very severe and even lead to death. Lead can be leached into the environment and subsequently absorbed into our bodies. Due to a variety of human activities and byproducts, toxins can accumulate to dangerous levels and we can become severely ill. Although an increased understanding and advancements in treatments have allowed us to worry significantly less about lead poisoning, the issue has not been completely eradicated for us. For this reason, it's still very important for people to understand and remain up to date on the causes and symptoms of lead poisoning. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to learn about lead poisoning and how it impacts not only us, but our entire planet and the organisms other than us that live here. Thank you.